Hare Krishna, dear devotees, my humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today is Tuesday and we are continuing with our Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila. And today's verse is 14th chapter, verse number 52 onwards. Wait, Maharaj, I'll share my screen again. Yes, wait, Maharaj, to come back to the seat. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'll share my screen. We are doing Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, 14th chapter, verse number 52, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Krodha Kanya Gamatani Sura E Nimani Gramba Sambodhe Hoi Tume Ama Sabare Bai. All the girls became very angry at the Lord for this behavior. Dear Nimai, they told him, you are just like our brother in our village relationship. Amasabakare praksi ihe karite na yuyaya. Na laha devata saja nakara anyaya. Therefore, it does not behoove you to act like this. Don't take our paraphernalia for worship of the demigods. Don't create a disturbance in this way. Prabhuke tome sabake dila e vara. Tome sabar brata habe parama sundara. The Lord replied, my dear sisters, I give you the benediction that your husbands will be very handsome. Pandita vidagga yuva dana danvayavan Sata sata puta haba nichayu matiman. They will be learned, clever, and young, and possess abundant wealth and rice. Not only that, but you will each have 7 sons, who will all live long lives and be very intelligent. Generally, it's the ambition of a young girl to have a very handsome husband who is learned, clever, young, and rich. According to Vedic culture, one is rich if he possesses a large stock of food grain and a very large number of animals. Danyena Danavan Gavayan Danavan. One is rich if he possesses food grains, cows, and bulls. A girl also desires to have many children, especially sons, who are very intelligent and long-lived. Now, because society has deteriorated, there is propaganda to have 1 or 2 children and kill the rest by contraceptive methods. But the natural ambition of a girl is to possess not only more than one, but at least a half a dozen. Hare Krishna. In exchange for the paraphernalia of worship, he observed for himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to bless the girls to fulfill all their ambitions and desires. one can easily become happy and obtain the material benefits of a good husband, wealth, food grains, and a number of nice children by worshiping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas at an early age, it is not necessary for his devotees to follow him by also taking sannyas. One can stay a householder, but one must be a devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then one will be happy with all material opulences and a good home, good children, good maid, good wealth, and everything he desires. Therefore, the Shastras advise Yagyai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajanti Sumedhasaha from the Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Every householder, therefore, who is actually intelligent should introduce the Sankirtan movement home to home and live peacefully in this life and go back to Godhead in the next. Om Gyan Timidandasya Ganajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvasesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Des Tarine Anshakalpa Darubhischa Kripa Sindhupe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's mentioned in the Shastras that those who worship the demigods, they're less intelligent. Those who worship the demigods should know that whatever the demigods can supply is coming from the Supreme Lord himself. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is disrupting the traditional rituals that are so very much prominent in Indian society, and that is to worship devas for material benefits, which goes on even today in very large arrangements, large amounts of wealth, large amounts of arrangements for worship, and various austerities and penances that people perform. But Krishna says it's all a useless waste of time. Just worship me. There, and Lord Chaitanya says, or Prabhupada says, that a household can have everything they want if they simply worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is very kind, and he will, by the worship of him, everything in one's family will become pleasant, nice, beneficial, and help one not only on the material level to live comfortably, but also go back home, back to Godhead. So here's what Lord Chaitanya is teaching in this pastime. He's disrupting the girls' worship of the demigods. They don't know. They think he's just one of their neighboring fellows. Therefore, they call him a member of the same village. We're like our brother. Yeah, but he's also different in the sense that he is the Supreme Lord, teaching that why waste time in such activities when everything can be successfully done through the worship of the Supreme Lord. It says in the scriptures that worship of God means including everything that is about the nature of God. So everything about the nature of God is everything in existence. So one who worships God in devotion, sincere devotion, all of the amenities that make up the material nature are at the disposal of that person. Why? Because God makes his qualities, his opulences available to those who worship him in devotion. So there's never any lack in the home of a devotee. There was one devotee in our movement This was many years ago. Um, he was a very, very wealthy person, big entrepreneur, had his own corporation in India. He was a businessman from India. And he used to travel around the world and also set up his factories in other places. And when he joined the Hare Krishna movement, everything changed. Whatever profit he was making multiplied 8 times. And because he understood that this was all the mercy of God, he started to use his money in a way to fortify programs for propagating Krishna consciousness. And the more he did that, the more money he got. In the material world, your hard-earned money spent based on your desire to enjoy sense gratification leaves you at a certain point. But in spiritual life, you're never in lack. You can go on spending money, and more money will come, more than you can possibly even count. And it's a fact. Devotees are very rich, especially the grihastas. The sannyasis and brahmacharis use whatever little bit of money they receive for maintaining themselves and for pushing on religious principles. They're not interested in opulence or wealth or comforts because their mood more is to engage fully in devotional service and accept whatever arrangements the Lord makes for their basic needs, eating, sleeping, and requirements for health. Everything is there. And so here it says one can easily become happy and obtain the material benefits. And then he goes on, good husband, wealth, food, grains, nice children, everything is there. So devotees don't have to work hard in the outside world for these things. All these things will come naturally if one who worships the Supreme Lord. But we don't have that faith, therefore, and we also are attached to the idea that I have to do it. And then, therefore, we continue to work like asses for the materialist civilization, and which is completely contrary to our progress in devotional service. But anyway, one can learn how to use those things in Krishna consciousness. Here, the pastimes of the Lord are so sweet. God is mischievous. Prabhupada would say, when Krishna would perform his mischievous activities, such as stealing butter, passing urine on the floor, throwing butter all over the house. And as Lord Chaitanya, he would break everything in the house with a stick and harass the Brahmins, harass the villagers. God was very mischievous as a child, that is. And so we might say that because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we have the same qualities as he has. So this mischievous nature is also there, both on the material level and on the spiritual level too. So this mischievousness is there within the soul who has that certain relationship with Krishna. Of course, others have a different kind of qualities that they exhibit, which are also characteristics of the nature of the Lord. But all of the qualities that we exhibit, it's just like we like to fight. You see, the world is full of fighting, and people will fight for no reason. Why? Because Krishna enjoys fighting. He doesn't go to Gold's Gym to work out with weights and to get big muscles so he can go around displaying his strength. No, he is automatically the source of all strength and power. And he likes to exhibit his strength in his activities, sometimes with his devotees in a playful way, but usually when there's not devotees, he comes to the material world just to eliminate a few demons. So that way he keeps himself in good shape. Prabhupada said he works out. like killing demons. So this is God. You might say, what kind of God that is? Well, take a look at your own self, and you'll see some of the same qualities in you that are actually coming from our connection with the Supreme Source. And one should hear about these activities of the Lord regularly, because if we don't, the tendency of the conditioned soul, or we might even say the tendency of the soul itself, is to hear about great persons. In the material world, there are certain persons who are considered to be laudable, worshipable, great, achieve so many things on certain levels. And we like to hear about them and their achievements. But this type of hearing will only attach ourselves more and more to the material energy and cause us to become entangled in the lower modes of material energy, such as passion and ignorance. But that tendency cannot be given up. So it explains that if we don't take time to hear and hear about the Lord and chant about the Lord, we will hear and chant about the material life. And therefore we become more, what we say, locked in to the consciousness that I am this body. So these are not only ways to raise our consciousness, but to purify our existence in the material world away from the desire to hear about so-called successful people in this world who are actually, when you look behind the scenes, you find they have no good qualities. They have two lives. They make themselves presentable in public in a certain way, and they look very laudable, very glorious. But in another way, they are they have other natures that is actually their real nature, which they keep. They call it the public profile and the private profile. The private profile is who they really are. So therefore, even though we're seeing them as great, many of them have no good qualities. In other words, they're woman hunters, drunkards, uh, cheaters on different levels, liars. Now, Prabhupada was just talking about lying. He said, in the material world, everyone lies. Why? Because they want to present themselves as being something different than they are, or they want to convince people to accept something that is not actually beneficial, but for them it's beneficial, but for someone else it's not. So lying goes on everywhere. Sometimes we call it sophistry, half truth and half lie. Politicians lie all the time. They give you many promises on how by electing them, they're going to create so many nice arrangements in the world for your happiness. But it's all propaganda to get into office. And then when they get in there, it's something else. And then they just pad their own pockets with large salaries and fleece the population with more taxes. So this is so we don't really want to hear about the activities of these people, but if we don't hear about Krishna's activities, we will gravitate towards these materialistic persons, hearing about them, because it's the nature of the living being to want to hear about great people. And there's no one greater than God. His activities are so wonderful on all levels. His strength, his wealth, his knowledge, his activities that cause him to be famous even today. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita more than 5,000 years ago, but still people are reading the Bhagavad Gita. So who's more popular than the Supreme Lord? Who's more famous than the Supreme Lord? Although people won't acknowledge that. So all of the qualities that are outstanding in a person's character are resourced in its completeness in Krishna himself. He is the reservoir of all good quality and the source of everyone else's good qualities also. So to hear about Krishna's pastimes, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his pastimes of Sankirtan, and also how he lovingly deals with his devotees in their pastimes of Sankirtan, and Sri Krishna in his Vrindavan pastimes with his friends, the cowherd boys, playing in different ways with the gopis, having loving relationships in secret, and, and with his parents, acting as a naughty child. All of these things endear one to Krishna more and more. The more we hear about Krishna's pastimes, the more we lose our attraction for the activities of this world, which brings us closer and closer to the spiritual realm of existence. And then that charms our mind and we feel happy. That's why we see today we have so many books available that are full of Krishna's activities, his qualities, his names, his forms, his pure devotees. These are all meant to be read and appreciated, understood, and imbibed. And that way we can actually move through life very happily because everything about Krishna is wonderful. There's no lack. You see, in other religious traditions, they don't have much knowledge of God. So they say God is great. They have a few stories about God in the scriptures, but very little. And therefore, you find people have a hard time staying worshiping the Lord. All they worship the Lord is for them. So the Lord will give them something material so they can be happy in the material world, or to correct the anomalies in the material world that they're undergoing. But we don't worship Krishna like that. Prabhupada says, people, they say, my dear Lord, give me something to eat. And we say, my dear Lord, what are you eating today? What can I make for you? Prabhupada said, happiness means to look in Krishna's lunch pail and see what Mother Yasoda has cooked for him today. So Krishna is so sweet, and he's very clever, as you can see here. And he's also full of all good qualities, all activities of the human culture, but in perfection, with no inebrities and no results of suffering or cessation. It's unlimited. So we can absorb ourselves more and more in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and then our life will automatically be uh, successful. McGrary the hunter was a bad hunter, and he used to kill animals half. He came in contact with Narada Muni, who showed him the results of his activity and how he would have to suffer in the future. But that was his livelihood, killing animals and getting their skins and selling it. And so when Narada told him, give it up, he said, how will I live? Don't worry. You stay here and you chant this mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you'll have no needs for anything. And he did. He had some faith. He was attracted to Narada. And after some time, he had more food than he could possibly even take care of his own family with. He had more than he needed. People were interested. Oh, a hunter has become a devotee. Let us go visit him. So people like to give gifts. So they were giving gifts of so many foods and personal needs that he had. And he had everything he needed. And he wasn't working a 9 to 5 job either. He was simply chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So Krishna consciousness is the holistic process for happiness in the material world and for going back home, back to Godhead. It's perfect. Why? Because it's the nature of the soul. It is not contrary to one's nature. To work like an ass simply for material needs is the job of the animals, especially those hardworking animals like bulls or donkeys or elephants. Human life is meant for Atato Brahma Jigyasa, to hear and chant the glories of the Lord, to serve the Lord and associate with the Lord's devotees in the mood of service. It is fun, it is full of variety, and it is never boring. It's always, as it says, Krishna's Nava Yovanam. He's always fresh. His activities are also of the same quality, always fresh. Okay, so here we're hearing about Lord Chaitanya in his young age as he instructs the residents of his village, the girls, on the importance of worshiping the Supreme Lord rather than diverting their attention to some deva.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful class. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments, you can please go ahead now. Please turn on your cameras if possible. It will be very nice to have you all your darshan. Maharaj, when we are talking about good qualities, I had a question on that. So the good qualities are coming from the soul or from the subtle body, like we have mind and intelligence too. So if you want to explain like about the good qualities we already have and which are hidden or through by Krishna consciousness, we are acquiring some good qualities, how the process goes on.
It's interesting. Prabhupada's talking about that today. I was listening to it, and he was saying, your good qualities are already there. It's not about bringing them, making them happen. All you have to do is uncover them. They're there.
Mm.
All of your good qualities are there because that's the nature of the soul, and the soul is part of Krishna, which is full of good qualities. So we have the same qualities of Krishna in smaller quantity, but those qualities are there. And as we uncover those qualities through detaching ourselves from material activities and attaching ourselves to spiritual activities, those qualities manifest within the person's character. They actually become visible even within the body, the mind, and the senses. But it's all part of the soul because the body and even the subtle body is simply material, and material has no animation of its own, no life of its own. It gets its life from the energy source within the body, which is the soul. But it acts accordingly, and it's fueled by the presence of the soul. So the body is nourished, the mind is nourished, the senses, the intelligence are all given energy by the presence of the soul. As it manifests in different forms, it's all there. You read Nectar Devotion, it talks about the 50 qualities of the living entity, which are found in Krishna in completeness and the living entity in partiality. And then beyond that, there are qualities that the living entity in the material world don't have, that the demigods have, that the manifestations of the Lord have in his expansions as Lord Narayan. And then there is 4 qualities that Krishna has that nobody has. These are exclusive to Krishna. But we have 50 of his qualities.
Yes, Maharaj.
And one of them is that we're always happy.
Yes, Maharaj. Being in your association and getting your mercy, we become happy.
I could say the same. If I was sitting here alone, I wouldn't be so happy.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll read in the Nectar of Devotion again. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We
Shivakumar.
have a couple questionnaires there.
Yeah, Shivakumar, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, dear Lord Sweet Maharaj. So Maharaj, today you are making a comment in the class that even devotees do go for the job, stretching out and things like that because there is lack of faith. I just wanted to hear from you, Maharaj. Uh, is there not a risk if somebody prematurely quits the material engagement and does not have the purity or the taste for the devotional service and tries to force himself to enter into devotional service, quitting the material engagement? Is there not a risk that he would uh, start misusing the time or something? Maharaj, I just wanted to hear from you on that front.
I'll answer your question with a little pastime from the Shastras, and then I'll explain more based on that.
No.
So Lord Chaitanya was with Srivas Thakur, and the Lord Chaitanya said to Srivas, "Hey Srivas, you don't do anything. You don't have any occupation. How do you maintain yourself? How do you maintain your family? How do you eat?" And Srivas responded by clapping his hands 3 times. That's it. Clap 3 times. That was his response. So Lord Chaitanya said, "What does that mean?" And Srivas said, "One day, if the Lord doesn't feed me and my family, 2 days, if he doesn't provide what we need, 3 days, if he neglects us, then I drown myself in the Ganges." When Lord Chaitanya heard that, he roared so loudly that the whole universe shook. And he responded, "My dear Srivas, even if Lakshmi Devi herself, the goddess of fortune, has to go from door to door with a begging bowl, there will always be food and everything you need in your house." So what is he saying? Srivas had complete faith that simply by engaging in devotional service, the Lord would take care of everything. So we talk about that pastimes, but then we give a little bit of a purport. And this is not a purport coming from the Shastras, it's my purport. So you can take it for what it's worth. My purport is if you don't have that kind of faith, then it won't work. If you have the faith that Krishna will take care of you if you engage fully in his devotional service, it works. If you don't have that faith and you just think by giving up your material activities, Krishna will take care of you, no. It has to be simultaneously going deeper into the process of Krishna consciousness and at the same time relinquishing our attachments and activities in this material world. So that faith comes by hearing from Guru and Krishna, by chanting the holy names, and mostly it comes by associating with people who have faith, who have that faith. So you can think about it, and you'll see we have many examples of people who've gone that path, and now they are, fully engaged in devotional service. And if they're householders, as it says here, if one worships Lord Chaitanya as a householder, dedicates everything to him, especially engages in the Sankirtan movement, then all of these things that were listed in the purport will come. Will come. There's the story of Arjuna Acharya. Arjuna Acharya was a very poor Brahmin. He lived with his wife, and they only lived from day to day by whatever he could collect by begging. So one day he was reading the Shastras, he was reading Bhagavad Gita, came across that verse that one who engages in my devotional service, I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So Arjuna was a devotee, and he was thinking, this is a mistake. Krishna doesn't carry what we lack. We have to do it ourselves. So he took a pen and he scratched out that part in his book that the Lord carries what they lack. And then that was the morning, and he went out on his red day, trying to gather through begging various types of edibles so he could live along with his wife. While he was gone, two boys, one kind of bluish in color, and the other one kind of whitish in color, came to the door of his wife. They knocked on the door. She opened them. She saw these two beautiful boys, and they were carrying all of these groceries, vegetables and rice and otter and some. And they said, Mataji, your husband has sent us with all of these things to your house, so we are bringing them him. But he told us that we have to bring it, and to make sure that we would bring it, he beat us. And she was shocked. These two nice boys, my husband beat them? Oh, she couldn't believe it. But she accepted all of the groceries, and then she, started to prepare. And after some time, her husband came home. And she told her husband, oh, you sent these two nice boys with all of these nice groceries. Look how much we have. And the house was like well stocked. And then she said, well, why did you beat them? He said, what two boys? I didn't see any two boys. And I didn't beat anybody. And then both of them stopped and started to think. And then he walked over to his Bhagavad Gita, and he saw that line that he crossed out, that the Lord preserves what he has and carries what he lacks, was no longer crossed out. So, but it takes faith. And it takes, activities and devotionals. If you have faith, it's not like some philosophers say, faith alone is all you need. Faith has to be accompanied by activities. So they say faith and works. Your faith has to be shown in action and not simply as a theoretical concept. Yeah. So if we have that faith, Krishna will take care of everything. He does everything anyway for his devotee. We can't see it because we think, well, I did it, but he's actually doing it. He's making all of the arrangements. Devotees have no problems. The only problems they have is that they will need to find more time for Krishna. That's the problems they have. So if you have that faith, and faith is something that is developed, and it comes by association with devotees and engaging in activities of devotional service. It's natural. I was reading today in Chaitanya Charitamrita how Krishna Das Kaviraj was mentioning about, and Prabhupada's purports also, how people like to write books, but are not qualified to write books on transcendental subject matters. And therefore, their writing is just a disturbance within society, although they might write about something spiritual, because they're not engaged in devotional service. They're simply scholars. They approach spiritual life from the academic point of view. But then Prabhupada went on to say that a devotee who is engaged in devotional service and writes books, Krishna sits next to him while he's writing. and he does the writing. And the person just puts it on paper. And Prabhupada also said that. Sometimes Prabhupada would sit there and read his own books, especially Krishna book. And he would marvel at Krishna's activities in a very animated way. He would express it. Sometimes he would laugh. Devotees were a little bewildered. Krishna Prabhupada's reading his own books and he's laughing. And then Prabhupada would look up and say, I am not writing this. I'm simply putting it on paper. Krishna's word, these are Krishna's words. So for pure devotee, they become the medium for Krishna in the material world. They become the, what we say, the eyeglasses. The eyeglasses just give sight or vision to the eyes, but the glasses don't do anything. They just enhance. It's the eyes that see. It's Krishna does everything, but he does it through his devotees. When his devotees become surrendered to him in devotion. This is the miracle of the wonder of Krishna consciousness. And you'll experience that as you go deeper into your Krishna consciousness. You'll see how things just happen without hardly any efforts. Right, Sri Devi? Of course, we have to drag our old bodies along sometimes, and that's a problem. But aside from that, everything is arranged by Krishna.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
You
This
can
is
see
so
it.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's Krishna's doing everything when he sees his devotees trying to serve him.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. This is a very detailed and deep answer, Maharaj. I have to listen a few times and make some notes out of it. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Srimati. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is so wonderful to hear all these and to understand how kind Krishna is and how much he loves the living entities and how much he wants them to be happy. So, my question, Guru Maharaj, is I want everyone to become Krishna conscious. I want everyone to become very happy. So, what can I do? How can I serve? And what are your instructions for me?
Well, the squirrel wanted to help build a bridge across the ocean. And Hanuman was there and thinking this squirrel is just getting in the way. We need this is man's work. But Ram saw what was happening and he admonished Hanuman by saying, you know, this he's doing as much as you are. You're doing to your capacity, he's doing to his capacity. So the Lord accepts that whatever capacity we can work according, and of course our capacity can also increase. The Lord will accept it as being, perfect. Yes, it's nice. We want the whole world to become Krishna conscious because that's what Krishna wants also. So as much as we can be an instrument for his mercy, that is our own credit. Then we become very, what we say, intimately connected with Krishna. It's no longer just a relationship, it's more of an intimate connection. Krishna is there every minute with the devotee.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
We are missing Sridevi Mataji already. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, any questions or comments? Yeah, Rasvilasni Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru to Gurudev and Uttamul devotees. Maharaj, as you were speaking about the like telling a lie. So if we talk about the four things like Arthashastra, Niti Shastra, and the Atma Shastra, and like economic development, morality and ethics, and religious life and spiritual life. So, to what extent we can like tell a lie if we are following like Riti Shastra, like religious life or spiritual life or morality and ethics? So, can we like speak a lie? So, if we are following these things, like because in economic development we should tell a lie because we are following like we are making a money, so we are earning a money, so that's why we have to tell a lie.
Yeah, we sometimes we say, you know what an oxymoron is? Anybody know what an oxymoron is? The word oxymoron means two things that don't go together. You can't put them together. And so sometimes we say one of the oxymorons is an honest businessman. And Prabhupada says, if a businessman says, oh, Prabhupada was just saying this morning, I was listening. He was saying, oh, you come into the shop and the man says, oh, you are my friend. I will not make any profit from you. I will give you at cost price. He's cheating. He can't live like that. But he speaks like that to make it sound like you've come to the right place. So these, we call it sophistry, half truth, half falsity. Sometimes, you say, oh, you have so many good qualities. You're, you know, and you describe some good qualities. And then you ask for something after you kind of flatter the person to make them feel important. So that's sometimes we do that with preaching. But generally, devotees have no reason to speak lies because we have nothing to hide. Those who have either people speak lies because they have something to hide, or they want to get something they want to somehow or other say things so they can get something in what we say an artificial or a less honest way. So devotees have no reason to lie. Prabhupada would talk about honesty in its purity, where if someone comes to rob your house and he says, "Where is your money?" You say, "It's over here," and you show him where the money is. So they were Brahmins like that. They would never tell a lie. But then you have the example of Yudhisthira Maharaj, who was the epitome of Dharma. He never told a lie. He wouldn't even consider telling a lie. But then Krishna told him to tell a lie. But he was so attached to his truthfulness that he didn't listen to Krishna. And because of that, he got a reaction. So that's another story. It says his chariot never used to touch the ground when he used to ride his chariot. It would ride off the ground. As soon as he refused to tell a lie that Krishna asked him to do in order to kill Dronacharya, he didn't do it, and therefore his chariot hit the ground. We have many examples. Draupadi never, not Draupadi, but Kunti never told that actually Karna was her son. And because she didn't tell the truth in that case, the Pandavas actually killed their own brother, not unknowingly. And Yudhisthira chastised Kunti very much when he found out about that. So she did it for a certain reason, to save her reputation. But on another side, the person who was their biggest enemy was actually their brother. And he didn't know it. The only one who knew it was Kunti. She was the only one who knew it. So sometimes you see there's many angles that one can adopt. And we do that in order to fulfill our desires or to achieve something. But devotees are straightforward, generally. But when they speak the truth in a pleasing way and not in a way that is offensive.
Mm. So much if a lie is right for spiritual life or anyone who is like following spiritual life, then it's good, right?
If Krishna tells you to lie, then you can do it. If he doesn't tell you, don't do it. You follow the principles of morality and spirituality. Truthfulness is one of them. So that's the constant concern or constant activity. But if Krishna tells you speak a lie, then that becomes the absolute truth. But don't worry, Krishna won't tell you that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, I had one question. If you permit, can you ask? Otherwise, I will ask later.
Srimati can determine. She'll let her determine.
Yeah, we'll go with Manas Prabhu, then we'll come back to you, Mataji. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Manas Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to you, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to all the assembled devotees here. So, Maharaj, I think you already answered what I was thinking in mind. And this is again related to the same conversation that we just having. But let me just still put that across. So, understanding that Krishna at times himself would want us to tell a lie, the example of Yudhishthira that you just shared. So how can we identify that, under a specific situation, that this is something which could be Krishna's wish or a reason which could be rightly justified to say a lie?
Krishna's representative comes in the form of the spiritual master. So therefore, you can always check to see if that's the case or if it's just something you are conceiving of in your own ideas. Yeah. Or asking a senior devotee who was on the same level as your spiritual master, then that's fine. Spiritual master or spiritual master's god brothers, who are also spiritual masters, are all consultable for these types of, what we say,
Situations.
Concerns, yeah.
Okay.
But
Sure.
what does it say in the Bhagavatam about one who lies?
The earth can bear the weight of mountains, rivers, and hill range mountains, but she cannot bear the weight of a liar.
Yeah. 8th canto, 20th chapter, verse 4, I think. 8th canto, 20th chapter, verse 4.
Okay. 8:20 verse 4. Sure, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah, hang on. We'll be right back. We're going to just give
Yes.
you the Shastric point here.
Yes, ma'am.
Just for the sake of brevity here. Yes.
Verse number 4, Maharaj.
Yeah, 8:24, I think it is.
Yeah, coming.
Let's see. There's nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. Because of this, Mother Earth once said, I can bear any heavy thing except a person who is a liar. Even in the most common dealings, people are accustomed to speaking so many lies. No one is free from the sinful reaction of speaking lies. Under the circumstances, one just can imagine how this has overburdened the earth and indeed the entire universe. So, yeah, tell the truth, but sometimes, I mean, there's other situations where it says, in order to do good to a person, sometimes you have to speak an untruth in order to control that person. There's examples
So
that
Guru Maharaj, not speaking a truth could be considered as a lie. Just not speaking.
there's a thing called sophistry. Sophistry means that it's not completely truthful, but there's elements of truth in it. Sophistry is half truth, half falsehood, like that. So just like you might say, you might be talking to your wife and saying, oh, how beautiful you look today. You look so wonderful. I'm so happy I came home from work early. Please cook for me. And she gets all excited because you gave her so much praise, and she's making your most favorite dish like that. So that's sophistry also. But it gets the job done. So I'm not so expert in these household affairs, but
Yeah, but it does work.
so sometimes you use a little flattery. Some use the word flattery instead of lying, which is really stretching the truth a little. So there's different degrees. There's out and out lying, but there's also other levels of untruth that are not actually lies, but have a purpose.
Guru Maharaj, thank you for.
Sometimes devotees, they want to go to a devotional activity, but they have to work that day. So they call in sick. They say, today I can't make it, I'm sick today. So they use some of their sick leave, but they're not really sick. They just want to rather go to something spiritual.
So that is not something that would be considered as a lie.
That's something you should learn how to do it in such an artful way.
Got it, Guru Maharaj.
If you accept everything that goes on in the material world as good, then you're in trouble. But it's not like that.
Right. Got it, Guru Maharaj. Thanks a lot for this elaborated answer. Yeah. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Kanchanabji, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my obeisances, all glories to your lotus feet, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for your enlightening wisdom. I was just thinking about this point about lying, and you're mentioning you heard Srila Prabhupada this morning. I think it comes from one of the purports in the Gita 1847, where Prabhupada speaks about the merchant who says, I'll make no profit. And I was just wondering, and even with, like saying something like being sick at work or any of these things, how to not then develop or cultivate this lying as a thing that just becomes your nature. Because, it's like, how does a Vaishya do it at work, but then not do it elsewhere? If it becomes if someone just gets used to lying. It's like I'm calling in work to say I'm sick because I want to attend the spiritual program, and then the week after I've got used to, I know how to manipulate at work now, and I'm just going to say I'm sick again, but then it's not for something spiritual, it's just for some other purpose. So how to then ensure that we're still behaving in the mode of goodness so that we can practice spiritual life?
I think it's just very simple. You just have to discriminate between what is actually beneficial
Okay.
and what is actually unnecessary.
Yeah.
Prabhupada also would say some strong things like when you're dealing with cheaters, you have to cheat.
It's a really succinct answer, but it's to the point. Learn to just discriminate. So that means we use our intelligence, which is in the mode of goodness. So
Just
it's
like
permanently
like
good.
this recent COVID epidemic. So they were forcing people to take inoculation.
Vaccines.
Yeah. So people were finding ways to get around that
Yeah.
in order to avoid getting, inoculated. And they did it for different reasons, but you can't say it was cheating because the government presented a cheating program forcing people, which is against the law anyway, to force people to accept something on a medical level. That's against the Constitution. Yeah, so the government was cheating, or the medical societies were cheating. So when you deal with cheaters, sometimes you have to cheat. But in principle, one should, therefore, what does it say in the Bhagavad Gita? Turn to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17. I think it's verse number 16, 17, 16 in Bhagavad Gita. The austerities of speech.
1716. Okay.
I think it is. It might be 1713. I'm not sure the actual verse. It's in that area, though. 17th chapter.
1715, I think.
Okay.
This is 16.
Go to 15 then. Austerities of speech.
Yeah.
Okay. Austerity of speech consisting in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and agitating to others, and also regularly reciting Vedic literatures. One should not speak in such a way as to agitate the minds of others. Of course, when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instructions of the students. But such a teacher should not speak to those who are not his students if he will agitate their mind. This is penance as far as talking is concerned. Besides that, one should not talk nonsense. The process of speaking in spiritual circles is to say something upheld by the scriptures. One should at once quote from scriptural authority to back up what he's saying. At such times, such talk should be very pleasing to the ears. By such discussions, highest benefit elevates human society. Yeah. So this is the austerity of speech. Truthfully and beneficially, but support your statements with words from the authorities, the Guru, the Shastras, like that. Krishna. That's the general principle.
Thank you, Maharaj. It's wonderful how this purport has come up, and you always quote something from the shot, like we're doing right now. We go to 1715, and before go to 8.20.4. And it's very pleasurable to the ear, like it says in the purport. Thank you so much.
Yeah, scripture coming from God, so we can accept it as truth.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Dear devotees, any more questions or comments? So, Rasvilasni Mataji, you want to ask another question previously?
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Maharaj, as I was reading like Chaitanya Bhagavat, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu to go and preach and chant the holy name, then Nityananda Prabhu also performed some pastimes that were just like those of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That just as Nityananda Prabhu was sitting on the throne and the devotee were worshipping him. So Maharaj, it is very difficult to understand, because they are non-different from each other, and it is really very difficult to understand the expansion of Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, what should be the right mentality to understand, and how should we understand this?
By hearing from the authorities. Everything is explained by Prabhupada in his purports. In the books, he explains also. So, yeah, we don't understand. You ask questions and you hear from the authorities based on what they're giving the knowledge from scripture, they're giving the knowledge from Krishna. Yeah, bodhyantas parasparam kotiyantas chimam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So one should ask questions when it comes to lack of understanding. That's all. So what is your question about that particular situation that seems to be unclear?
Maharaj, as I was saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes he was also saying Nityan Prabhu is non-different from me, and sometimes they are different from each other. So, how should we understand, Maharaj?
Yeah, it's easy. They're both the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in different manifestations. So that both are God. It's the Supreme Lord. Brajendra Nandanaye, Sachi Suto Hoilo Se, Balaram Hoilo Nitai. The same Nityananda and Chaitanya are Krishna Balaram. So they're one as the absolute truth, and they're different in variety. That's all. That's called Beta Beta Tattva, simultaneously one and different. It's easy to understand in terms of the principle. It's difficult to understand in terms of the actual identity. The principle is just like there are so many human beings. So in one sense, we are one as humans, but each human is different. So we're one and different as humans. That's a material example. So Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya are one, but at the same time different. One as the Godhead, different in different in form, personal manifestation. Lord Nityananda serves Lord Chaitanya as Lord Balaram was serving Lord Krishna. But both are the Godhead. One is serving Godhead, the other one's servitor Godhead.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, I understood, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Navnath Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, you mentioned about these two examples, Arjunacharya and Shivas Thakur, and their strong faith on Lord Chaitanya. my question is like, this is kind of an eye opener, really, like having such strong faith. Like we many times say, yes, we have faith on Lordship. Yes, we believe. But this kind of strong, like nothing comes like complete faith. So how to develop this strong faith?
Well, faith becomes stronger as you experience the mercy of the Lord through your devotional service. You can see, you start to understand that Krishna is doing everything, but you're making the effort. He's giving the results. He's also giving the mercy. So Krishna says, well, he explains that he is Bhokta. Bhokta means he's a supreme enjoyer, supreme proprietor, the supreme controller, and also the best friend. He explains that. And he says, whatever one can do is actually done by me, actually, through either spiritually, directly, through the super soul, or indirectly through the three modes of material energy for the non-devotees. Even the non-devotees can't do anything. They think they can, but if Krishna decides not to give his sanction to their activities, they can't do anything. But he doesn't worry about that because he lets them do what they want. At the same time, he encourages them to give it up and come to Krishna consciousness. But, people earn a certain amount of karmic credit based on pious and impious activities, and they're duty bound to get the results based on these things. So if people perform pious activities, automatically they'll get the results of pious activities, which are generally the qualities of the mode of goodness. So everything for the non-devotees is under the control of these three modes. For the devotees, it's under the control of Krishna in his Daivi Shakti, Daivi Vesha Gunamayi, that this material world is also Daivi for the devotee, spiritual. So if we just try to serve Krishna, Krishna told Arjuna, fight for the sake of fighting. Never consider happiness or distress, honor or dishonor, victory or defeat, but fight for me. So just do your duty, try to serve the Lord, and everything else will automatically manifest. If you are serving under the proper instructions. Otherwise, there is a way to serve. And if we don't follow the protocol for each of the types of service that we do, we may get a lesser result. Just like there are so many rules and regulations in deity worship. If you follow them nicely, then the results are Krishna consciousness. If you don't follow them nicely, then you'll get something less. So what did Krishna tell Lord Rama in the Brahma Samhita? Can you bring up the Brahma Samhita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Verse number 59 in the Brahma Samhita. Krishna speaking to Brahma after Brahma offers his prayers to Krishna, which is the Brahma Samhita prayers. Krishna responds. He calls him O Vidhi. Vidhi means one who is actually intelligent. So here, and so he explains. Someone read.
You want me to read the translation?
Yeah.
Yeah. The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees, by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization, with the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct, and perseverance in practice.
Constant endeavor for self-realization following scripture. Theistic conduct, that means the activities of devotees, the qualities of a devotee, and determination, perseverance in praxis. You want to read some more, you can read the purports, short.
Yes, ma'am. Evidence, the devotional scriptures, example, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas, the Puranas, the Gita, etc. Theistic conduct, the conduct of pious persons, sadhus, who are pure devotees, and the conduct of those pious persons who practice devotion to Godhead, actuated by spontaneous love. Practice to learn about the 10 basic principles, Dashamula, from the Shastras, and on receiving the name of Hari as laid down in the same, embodying the name, form, quality, and activity of the divinity. To practice the chanting of the name by serving him night and day. By this are meant the study of the Shastras and association with the sadhus. The tenfold offense to holy name ceases by serving the name of Hari and simultaneously practicing pious conduct. Practice is no other than following the mode of service of the name practiced by the sadhus without offense. By perseverance in such practice and devotion, characterized by love, which is the fruit of spiritual endeavor, makes her appearance in the pure essence of the soul.
This purport is by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
Yes.
The language is a little philosophical. Yeah. But Krishna gives the formula, you have to be guided by scriptural evidence, which comes by the instructions given by the spiritual master. You can't just do anything and call it devotional service in the way you want. There's ways to serve in each and every type of service. There may be varieties within those ways, but there is parameters to guide the participant in a certain way, that the activities are done in the best possible way. And persevering in practice, that means you have to be patient. It's not going to happen all of a sudden. Remain. Dasamulam is the 10 principles of bhakti that is explained by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Those 10 principles there. I don't know all 10 of them. There's a whole book on that also. So that's mentioned in Prabhupada's classes and his books also, but not in a very systematic way. And proper conduct, the qualities of a devotee. Truthfulness, cleanliness, simplicity. And we have to cultivate these qualities along with the practice of, along with engaging in devotional service. It's a whole holistic program. It's not simply just doing things.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I think following Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra are the basics. So
Yeah, that's why we have to read these books.
Yeah.
Or at least hear regularly from the Shastras, from the spiritual teachers.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
thank you, Maharaj.
Dear devotees, any more last minute questions? Maharaj, I don't see any questions or hand raised, so can we chant a little bit?
Well, okay. I finished all my rounds, but I can always do extra. It's okay.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
I just have a quick mundane question for Kanchana Abja. Can I just, instead of calling him up and bothering him, I can just ask him now?
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
It's a mundane question, so don't worry about it. You
I
gave
worry more about this one.
you gave me that massage gun, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is there adapter for other adapters in it, and is there a charger for it also?
So any USB-C will work, Marge. So just and that it's a USB-C wire.
USB-C. I never heard of that, but
Okay.
anyway.
Probably the one that goes into your phone, Marge, should work.
Oh, okay. I see. All right.
Yeah.
That's for charging.
Yeah, that's it.
Is there any adapters that you have that?
No, I think it was just a wire, and you just plug that in, and that charges it up. That's
No, I
it.
mean the adapters for the machine itself. There's like
Okay.
different features on it. It's got,
Oh.
you give me the one with the round ball, but they have different.
Oh, yeah. I'll have a look to see if there is anything else. I can't remember.
All right, I'm coming to the UK in about a few days, so.
Sure, I'll have a look to see if there's anything, and I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Is it
Sorry
good?
for,
No, is it good? Is the machine
it
good?
seems to be pretty good. I came across a better one this weekend, but
Okay.
yours
Okay.
is pretty good though.
Okay.
I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to use it. Thank you.
I'm grateful for being able to do some little service for you, Marge.
Okay, well, let me get my beads and we can move on.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful class and nice discussion. Dear devotees, we'll again see you tomorrow, but please stay on for chanting. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Srimati, is your husband available?
Yes, Maharaj, he's getting ready. I'll call him, Maharaj.
You can tell him I'll call him in about 10, 15 minutes.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I'm here, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a call soon.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay, we can begin. Jai Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur, Bhakta Vrindam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Nam Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Hari Krishna 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 Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Ram He Krishna 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 Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hari Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Ram Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Nam Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Nam Hari Ram Nam He Krishna 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 Hari Ram Nam Hari Krishna Krishna Hey Ram Nam Hari Krishna 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 Hari Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Nam He Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Nam Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Nam Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Nam Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hari Ram Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hari Ram Nam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Ram Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hari Ram Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
yeah, will you take over the chanting?
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Srimati, for hosting the call.
Thank you, Mataji.